The bond a mother has with her children is truly the strongest bond of them all. I'm Charles Rentham with a review of The Binding. It's a Netflix original movie set in the south of Italy, and it's about a family that is trying to fight off a malevolent force that wants to drive a wedge between, every member of the family. They want something that the family has that they don't have. And I'll get into spoilers here in a little bit. But suffice to say, I knew nothing about this movie. I just went into it totally blind. But after seeing a movie called 18 Presents, it was also an Italian movie, not horror, but great family drama. One of my favorite movies of the year. Very goddamn movie, and I'm not going to talk about it anymore, otherwise I'll get upset like I did during that review and when I watched it. But watch 18 Presents. With this, there is a family, Francesco, and he takes his soon-to-be wife Emma and her daughter Sophia to a villa that his mother has. And, as things go on, there's a bit of a creepy feel about it, and it seems like, something's not quite right. Maybe secrets are being held. Maybe maybe his side of the family wants to take Sophia away from Emma. Maybe there's some weird stuff going on because Emma has this weird feeling about this place, even though she loves Francesco. She's not totally sure about all this. She's not totally sure, and she has reason to be nervous. Now, I will say that I wasn't too concerned with if this was going to be wholly original or not. I just wanted to get something atmospheric and get something decent. It actually turned out to be better than I thought. This is very atmospheric. The location shots were absolutely beautiful. The actress playing Emma is absolutely stunning. She was great, and actually the acting's pretty goddamn good. Top notch compared to a lot of films that Netflix will just shove out. There was some real craft and some real care put into this. Even if the story isn't wholly original and a lot of the twists you can certainly see coming a mile away, the way they handled it, they didn't feel like they rushed it. They felt like they let it organically happen, which is kind of rare because I've watched some Netflix original movies and some, horror movies that have come from other countries, and even recently this year, and a lot of them just feel like they just have to rush or hit you over the head with stuff. And that doesn't mean there aren't some things that aren't generic. The jump scares are a bit generic, and there's the creaks and groans and stuff like that, and the usual tropes. But overall, as far as a movie, it is more than just a cut above the rest. It's certainly better than your garden variety haunted house type thing that deals with malevolent spirits and everything. And, the cliches. It actually handles it pretty goddamn well compared to what I thought it was going to be. I mean, when you see something like this, you really aren't sure what to get. You think you're going to get something generic. And if you go in totally just, I don't want to say blind, but just go in, with your expectations kind of set here, and you'll actually be surprised. One thing I do want to say, though, before I get into spoilers, make sure that the audio track is set to Italian, because otherwise you'll get dubbed in English with English subtitles, and it will not fucking work at all. It will be fucking rotten. It will ruin the whole goddamn experience. I hate having to have dubbed movies. I mean, I'll take it if I have to, if there's no way to get the other track, but I was almost ready to give this movie a complete, downgrade, and I was like, oh, I have the option to do that. I don't know why the fuck, why the fuck Netflix only set it to English, because I don't mind reading subtitles. Even if it is a little bit of work, you get the full experience and the full cultural feel of it. And you can hear the actors in their normal voices, and you actually can get more of a real feel of it, other than voices that are just dubbed in from out of goddamn nowhere. Now, I will say that, sure, it gets wrapped up a little bit, I don't want to say conveniently, but maybe conventionally. But the way they do it, even if it starts to fade away a little bit in the third act, it does overall work pretty goddamn well. So I would say absolutely go watch this, especially if you're a fan of Italian horror. Modern Italian horror. I'm not talking about Dario Argento, not Sargento, that's the cheese. But, not old Italian horror, but as far as new stuff, this actually is definitely a cut above the rest. So anyway, I'm going to get into spoilers here. So here's your warning, 3, 2, 1, and go. Let's go with the spoilers right here. Spoilers. Just warning you about the spoilers. Okay, it's not going to take very long. In the beginning, there was this girl that was part of a ritual. She was screaming a lot. It was clear that this ritual did not fucking work. And then years later, it turns out that, Francesco, he ended up, having something to do with this girl that was part of a ritual. She was pregnant by him. He didn't want to keep the kid. So he ended up trying to get rid of the kid, doing a ritual that his mother should have done because she could control these forces and control this stuff because she kind of did black magic and herbal stuff and everything and was able to take care of spirits. Well, Francesco didn't do that, and now this woman Ada. I mean, I actually forget how they fucking pronounce it because some of these names are a little bit funky to me because everybody's got a different way that they pronounce this stuff. But this woman, this ghost wants to get Sophia. She wants to have the daughter she never had, and since she was bound basically to Francesco, she wants to get the daughter. And Emma obviously doesn't want this to happen, and we get the usual stuff of like the daughter's like fine at first. There's this cool scene where there's a whole bunch of these uprooted trees. That was a pretty goddamn cool thing. The dog didn't die, which is great. And once she gets infected by this spider bite, she is bound to this woman, and they have to do everything they can to basically save her, and eventually they do, but not without a whole bunch of consequence, a whole bunch of bloodshed, and a whole bunch of, oh yeah, you don't want to piss off somebody when you tried to get them to get rid of their kid through a ritual you shouldn't have fucking done. So Francesco pays the price, but Emma and Sophia are bonded once again because, they do this kind of blood ritual thing that brings them both back to life. A bit weird, that. And sure, okay, it is cliche. It is pretty obvious that there is something being hidden, and I don't think the reveal is really all that shocking. The way they handle it, though, is actually pretty goddamn good. And then, right at the end, they show Francesco, he wakes up in, like, the cave that he was in when he was battling this demonic spirit that he pretty much fucking created by being an idiot and not wanting to take care of a kid when he probably could have just let her have the kid. And then he could, I mean, I don't know the rules on this stuff, but maybe you don't do that kind of shit and you won't have to worry about a demonic ex-girlfriend coming back for you. So, and they showed some credit stuff where I don't know if this is actually based on a true Italian story or not, like an exorcism gone wrong or like an urban legend. I have no idea. I just want to say that. But it did seem to be kind of rooted in a bit of reality until the third act when it kind of fell apart a little bit. But by then I was invested, and it was what it was. And again, it is better than a lot of haunted house, spoopy creature stuff, and, spirit stuff and everything. So I gotta say B. The Binding gets a B. It's not wholly original, but it is pretty damn good and has some talent behind it. So, anyway, agree, disagree with what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.